Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. We've got a fouled up mess for you today in the form of easy crock pot lava cake. But stay tuned and you'll see how we recover from my countless mistakes. Okay, so we've got a few simple shortcut ingredients. First, we're going to start with a Devil's Food cake mix. Any brand is fine, because we're going to add some yummy stuff to it and make it delicious. And I apologize, I should have opened this box ahead of time. I only half prepped for this today. All right, so into a large bowl, we put that Devil's Food cake mix, the whole thing. We want the whole thing in there. Then to that, we are going to add 3 eggs, lightly whipped. Right in. And 2 cups of milk. Oh gosh, no, not 2 cups of milk. Well, we got a little milk in our cake batter, so just ignore me. I'll replenish my milk. That's for the pudding. Gosh, aren't y'all glad I don't edit this stuff out? Because we'll see how this turns out. But that was probably a splash of milk. I don't even think it was a 1/3 cup, so it won't hurt anything. We have 1 2/3 cup of water that goes in the cake mix. Golly. See, I'm in too much of a hurry, but it's just milk. What's the saying? No sense crying over spilt milk. So we're gonna mix all this together, and it's gonna be pretty soupy. Let me get my whisk. Get things started on my whisk. And you can do this with a hand mixer if you want to, but it's really not necessary. You're just bringing the cake together. And it's a very moist, kind of soupier than normal. But I'm not using a hand mixer today because I like doing stuff with, you know, not a lot of special equipment, because new cooks, when they start out, they don't have like a nice stand mixer or a nice hand mixer. A lot of times they only have like a spatula and maybe a whisk. So you can even go a step farther and do things just with a spoon. So we're just gonna get that all nice and mixed together. And we're going to make sure that we mix it well for about a minute or 2. And I forgot the oil. We got a 1/3 cup of oil. All right, so let me just recap the correct way to put this together. We have 1 Devil's Food cake mix that we put into a large bowl, 3 lightly whipped eggs, 1 2/3 cup of water, and a 1/3 cup of oil. But y'all, I mean, this is why I set everything out before we get started. It's hard, and I think this is reality for anything you're cooking, that it's hard when you've got 10 million things going on in your head, especially when you're cooking like for like a Sunday lunch or something like that, to remember everything. So the first thing I always do is set everything out and try to pre-measure it. And that way, if I forget something, it's sitting right here like I did just then, and I can add it in whenever I get my head together. But you can most times recover as long as you don't forget something, you know, and remember it while you're going through the cooking process. Okay, so to our crock pot liner, we're just going to spray just a little bit of cooking spray. And then we're gonna pour that into the crock pot. Now it's good and soupy, right? Which is how you want it. We're making a lava cake, so. And this is a really good illustration of how your crock pot serves like a mini oven. Okay, now we're gonna just set that to the side. Now to another bowl, we're gonna add one 3.9 ounce package of instant chocolate pudding. Now I've just got the regular milk chocolate, but you can use dark chocolate if you want to. This is one of those recipes, there's no hard and fast rule here, just make it your own. And now to this, we're gonna add the 2 cups of cold milk. Whole milk is better, but if you only have skim milk, or 1% or 2%, just use that. And if you have some heavy cream or half and half, just add a splash of that in there, and that'll give you enough fat content to really make the pudding rich. Now we're just going to use our whisk and mix this according to package directions, which is about 2 minutes. All right, we're good, and we just want it soft set. It's going to continue to set in the crock pot. And I just made one more mess over here with pudding. All over me, all over the counter. You got it. I did it. All right, so now we're just going to pour this right over the top, and I just like to just kind of dollop it in, and yes, some of it's going to sink, but that's kind of what we want. So I just try to just get it everywhere that I want it, because this is what helps make the lava in the lava cake. And I want some of it just about in every bite. All right. Now this is very important. Don't mix this. Don't ribbon it with a knife. Don't do any of that stuff. This is almost like a cobbler in the sense that that cake will cook up and around it and then leave the pudding soft on the inside. Now, I have 2 cups of chocolate chips. I did not have a full 2 cups of chocolate chips. I had a cup of chocolate chips and then a cup of white chocolate chips. So that's what we're getting. I'm a big proponent of use what you have. So we're just gonna drizzle those right on top. Drizzle. We're gonna sprinkle those right on top. It's early in the morning while I'm filming this. Can y'all can probably tell. But I don't edit much of anything out of my videos, because one of the ways that I learned to be a better cook, so I learned how to cook at a young age with my grandmother and my mom and my aunt. But I really honed my skills in the kitchen by being a young cook and messing up. So there's no crying in cooking. There's no messing up in cooking unless you cook something and just leave something out. But even then, there are ways to recover. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the lid on this, put it in the base of my crock pot, and we're gonna cook it on low for 3 hours or high for about an hour and a half. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna scoop it out and show you how beautiful and perfect this crock pot lava cake is. So don't go away. Okay, everybody, we are back. We finished our cook time, and I did end up cooking it just about 3.5 hours on low, and it came out perfect. So just check it all throughout. Everybody's crock pots are a little bit different. Mine is a little older, so it took just a hair longer than I anticipated. I had it on high and checked it at an 1.5 hours, and it was not quite ready. So I turned it down to low and left it and let it cook for just about another 1.5 hours, almost 2 hours longer. So we ended up with a modified cook time between high and low to get our optimal result. But what you want to see is just this nice little spongy top. If it's still wet in the middle, that's okay, but you don't want the top surface to be really, really, really wet. So just keep an eye on it. But you'll notice that when we cut into that, we have that lava effect from the pudding. And I spooned out some already, and I know my lighting is not great, but you can see the lava effect, and that is not only from the pudding, but that is also from those chocolate chips that we put in there. So let's give it a taste. I went ahead and spooned some out so that it would cool just a little bit and I wouldn't burn my hide off my tongue. So let's taste it. Creamy, chocolatey heaven. That Devil's Food Cake mix that we used is very moist because we used 3 eggs in it. And look, somebody just showed up. She's always here whenever we're making sweets. I know, you got to taste it on camera. If you're gonna come get it, you have to taste it on camera. Well, so the quick retreat with the dessert speaks volumes. Anyway, we hope that you'll try this out. Like I said, there are other ways you can make this, but the crock pot method is really nice to do it so that you can do something else. And I'm a huge proponent of multitasking, and the crock pot allows us to do that. This recipe, like all of our others, can be found over at thebutteredhome.com with a nice printable, free-to-use recipe with plenty of room in the margins where you can make notes and turn this recipe into your own. Also, I want to note that you cannot see any of those white chocolate chips. So if you have to make modifications like I did, you just do chocolate on chocolate, and then you can add some white chocolate and it goes away. But we want you to make this recipe and make it your own. Make sure that you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a real good time and we want you with us wherever we are. And if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, make sure you head over to YouTube, search for The Buttered Home, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. Okay, so Reagan and Big D, because I'm trying to limit my sugar intake, have lots of very good chocolate lava cake to consume. And I'm going to go and get this ready for both of them. As always, from the buttered home to your home, we sure love y'all. Bye.